Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. 4 more games to go. We're almost at the end. It feels like yesterday that we played that game against Salernitana, which ended 2-2 in the first game week of the season. It feels like yesterday that the season started. Well, guess what? We're 4 games away until the end of it. This season went by like this. It went as fast as a fly, and it's kind of sad, you know. It's sad when seasons come to an end. It's always a bit sad, but we've got a lot to play for. We need to defend this top 5 position and try and put as much pressure as we possibly can on Bologna, yes, because they lost more points yesterday, and their calendar isn't the easiest of calendars. But the most important thing is not getting too illusioned by the fact that we can get 4th or 3rd, because if we do that, then we're going to lose more points. What we need to do is very simple. What we need to do is defend 5th position. I think it would be very, very wrong for us to illusion ourselves and get hypnotized by this fact of Bologna lost points, let's try and push for 4th, if not 3rd, if we win tomorrow. Forget about that. We don't have the energies to get 3rd or 4th. We don't even have the energies to defend 5th position, if you ask me. And look, let's laugh not to cry. And you know me, I like taking a piss, I like laughing, because we need to laugh not to cry. Because if you ask me, playing Champions League football next season requires a miracle. And this miracle consists of winning as many games as possible in this end part of this league. And I think the team is tired. I think the team is mentally exhausted. The amount of games that they've played this season in both the Europa League, getting second in that group stage, having to play 2 extra games against, with all due respect, a team which played the Champions League. And then you look at all the international fixtures, the friendly games, the Euro 2024 qualifiers, then the Europa League, Brighton, Milan, now Bayer Leverkusen, now we've got Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen again. We're playing way too many games. And I really do think that to play UCL football next season, we need a miracle. It's not impossible. It's not. But we need to be determined to get as many points as possible in these coming games. Because otherwise, it's not possible. Lazio's winning right now in Monza. If they win today, they'd go 1 point behind us. I swear on everything that the last time I checked the table, Lazio was 9 points behind us. And now all of a sudden they're back 1 point behind us. We're tired. It's not a surprise. We're extremely tired, and it's extremely important to just... It's the last push. It's the last push. It really is. The baby's about to come out. It's the last push. If we're considered a woman giving birth. That's the analogy of today. You can see the head, you can see the body, it's not fully out, last push, and the baby's out. That's very weird. I don't know why I gave that analogy, but that's the way I see it. Oh, by the way, May the 4th be with you, everybody. Happy May the 4th. I hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday. I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend. It certainly is starting to become summer because it's very, very hot in Italy. And I assume it's very hot in other countries as well. But let me know how are we feeling. Obviously, Bayer Leverkusen is gone. We played against them 2 days ago. We lost against them. How are we feeling? Are we confident coming towards tomorrow? And yeah, as always, give me some life updates because I care about you guys. So let me know how you're doing. Right, Juventus. Away. Sorry, why? No, at home, not away. Juventus is a pain in the ass to face. They've always been a pain in the ass to face. And they will forever be a pain in the ass to face. Especially when their manager is Allegri. Now, a lot of people might go, oh look, Allegri, he's not good enough. Very similar manager to Mourinho in terms of tactics. And I agree. Allegri isn't an amazing manager. I think just like Mourinho, his philosophy of football is outdated. The way he sets up teams is wasted, because I actually think Juventus have a lot of potential in their team, but the way he sets up this team, a lot of the talent that they have is wasted. I look at Chiesa, number one, wasted player under Allegri, because he doesn't play with a 4-3-3, which is why I would love Chiesa under De Rossi, because I think De Rossi could rejuvenate him. So I agree, Allegri isn't a master, and to be honest with you, I think Allegri is the reason Juventus haven't been pushing and winning as many league titles as they were many years ago. Again, the team is very different. I grew up with Juventus being the Real Madrid of today, which is why I feel this rivalry a lot, because I grew up with Juventus always getting in front of us. You know, let's all realize that if it wasn't for Juventus's golden eras, we would have won like 5 consecutive league titles. We were really good with the Gervinhos, the Salas, the Nainggolands, the Dzekos. But even in Garcia's first year, look at Benatia and Manolas in defense, De Santis in goal, Borriello up front. We had a fantastic team, but Juventus was always up there. Vidal, Pirlo, Tevez, Pogba, Dybala. Juventus, to me, has always been the team that I just hate because I wanted to beat. And it's the team that didn't allow me to see many league titles. In fact, 0 league titles. So I don't like Juventus. And I really feel this rivalry more than anything. After Lazio and Feyenoord, I feel the rivalry with Juventus more than anything. Maybe just after Napoli. So yeah, I agree. The players aren't the same. 10 years ago, Juventus had a Titan team. Now, if you compare this team to that Juventus team, it plays like Cremonese. And I agree, the players aren't as good, but the players are good. They've got quality. Vlahovic, Chiesa, Bremer, Danilo, Szczesny in goal, Rabiot. They are a very, very, very good team. And I think Allegri sets this team out in a way that it can't really win league titles because he don't get the best out of these players and he doesn't play amazing football. But with that being said, when I say that it's always a pain in the ass to face Allegri, it's because, yes, okay, he's not been good in these recent years, but he still, last year, managed to get a European semi-final. He still managed this year to get a Coppa Italia final. And he still managed for 1/3 of this league to be first and compete with Inter. So, Juventus, yes, are not the same team as they were in September or October. They've lost for the last game that Juventus won away from home was against the Lecce, and that was in January. They're not the same team, but they are difficult to face, especially when we have a team who's knackered, who's exhausted. They've been preparing this game for 1 full week. And the thing with Juventus is that it's their defense. I remember this winter. I went to Turin. It was Christmas. It was the 30th of December, the day before New Year's. And for Christmas, I gifted my father 2 tickets to go and watch the Juventus Roma game. 30th of December, in Turin, -5 degrees, 1 day before New Year's. It was an absolute survival challenge. 8-hour drive on a Saturday, watch the game, sleep, 8-hour drive back the day after. If I look at that and I'm crazy. But I went to Turin, and I kid you not, it was the most disgusting football game I've ever seen. Not because it was Allegri against Mourinho, and that's recipe of boredom, but it's because Juventus played really well in defense. And classic Allegri win ended 1-0. Juventus play like this. We need to picture Juventus as we played a few months ago with Mourinho, because Allegri and Mourinho ball are a mirror. Allegri and Mourinho ball are identical. And a lot of these players know how to play like Allegri does or like Mourinho do, which also means that a lot of these players know how to crack that algorithm of football. Which is why I can give as many predictions as I want. I can tell you guys I expect us to win. I can say I expect us to lose. But the reality is, if we don't win, we're not going to get Champions League football. And this statement applies to any of our 4 remaining games. We need to win all 4 games. And yes, it's not impossible, but I don't know how we do it. And it's not me being negative. How do we win in Bergamo? How do we win all of our 4 games? It's not impossible. I think we can do it because we've beaten Milan, but we're knackered. And to beat these 4 teams, you need your starting 11. To play the game of your life in all of these 4 games, you need your best formation. And these players are dead. These players are mentally exhausted. Which is why, I don't know. As I said before, laugh to not cry. Because if we don't get Champions League football, I don't know how we move forward. Because we've been in this loop for at least the past 5 years. We're like stuck. You know, like those sand dunes where you just can't get out? It's exactly that. We need Champions League football like water for our growth. It's vital. But again, 1 game at a time. I want to be confident, and the only way that brings me confidence is if I think of games game by game. Juventus tomorrow. We need 3 points. And maybe we need to hope in a Salernitana already relegated constellation miracle that they beat or draw against Atalanta. And we need Monza to get something out of this game, which they're currently losing 1-0. That's all I can say about Juventus. They play defensive football. They're going to try and win this game 1-0. We've seen this in the Coppa Italia against Lazio a few weeks ago. Their layout is this. Defend, get the chance, exploit individual mistakes, score 1-0, and they've got all the tools to park the bus and defend and not allow us to score. Because they can do that. So, right. That's Juventus. I think the Atalanta game is tougher than this. If I had to pick between which game are you more worried about, this game or the Atalanta game, I think it's Atalanta because I think Atalanta are better than Juventus. I think they play better than Juventus and I think we struggle the way they play more than how Juventus play. But both games are hard. Both games aren't a walk in the park. And we need to remain concentrated as always, because if we lose concentration, just like we did in those moments against Bayer Leverkusen, it's the end. Right, I'm going to start speaking about us. In the meantime, I did not set a like target. 4 games to go. They need to be 4 finals. They need to be 4 finals. We need Champions League football. Support the team. Show me that you believe in these 4 games. We need to keep the distance from Atalanta and Lazio and put pressure on Bologna. The goal is simple. Forget about Bayer Leverkusen. Forget about it. We need Champions League football like water in our backyard. So, tomorrow, game by game, Juventus first. If you're confident, if you're ready, hit the like. If we can get 100 likes, it would be great. And subscribe if you haven't already. Us. Tired. But we need the starting formation. It's as simple as that. We won't beat Juventus if we start with Christensen, Azmoun, yeah, we need the best formation. I think there's gonna be one significant change, but not more than one. I think one key player is gonna rest this game. I've based my predict 11 on what Sky Sports have said. I'm gonna leak it in a minute. A few comments on us. De Rossi mentioned this in his press conference this morning. There is one thing which is gonna make us lose this game, and it's guaranteed that we're gonna lose this game if we focus on Leverkusen. Now, De Rossi in the press conference said that he still believes in that second tie and he still wants to balance attention on the Leverkusen game and the Europa League and on the league. Which is fine because that's what you expect from a team. That's what you expect from somebody who needs to win. Yes, we lost the home game 2-0. Yes, I think it's impossible, but they need to believe and it's very right for us to believe in that tie. But he said this very, very, very clearly to the team, and he said this in the press conference. If we play tomorrow's game, thinking about a miracle on Thursday, we are going to lose. Bayer Leverkusen will come, that miracle chance will come on Thursday. Right now, it's way more important for us to go well in the league than it is in Europa League. So if you mess something up in these league games, it's done. We haven't got many games remaining. If you fuck something up right now, it's the end. So you don't need to think about Bayer Leverkusen. And if you do think about Bayer Leverkusen, you're not going to win this game. Because to beat Juventus, you need to be concentrated. To beat Juventus, you need to be ready. And you need to have this game and this plan in your mind only. If you start thinking about other things, start panicking, start falling under pressure, lack of intensity because I need to preserve my energies and my mental energies for Thursday, that is where we lose. This game is more important than Bayer Leverkusen, seeing the circumstances of the first leg. So it's very important not to focus on that game. With that being said, this is my predicted 11. As I said before, I expect one significant change, but that's it, not more than one. And my significant change is going to be this. Zalewski up front. I've based this predicted 11 on what Sky Sports have said, and they've reported that Zalewski is going to start ahead of El Shaarawy. I'm going to give you 1 minute to get some questions ready, and in the meantime, I will read some comments. Fucking hell, we're playing again. We have to cook like how Kendrick cooked Drake. Must win tomorrow, must win at Atalanta. We suffer from the start of the season, but we need to play like it's only finals now. Absolutely. And don't forget the Genoa and the Empoli game, especially that Empoli game. This will come because we're going to face Empoli in a bit. But don't you dare underestimate that Empoli game. Like, I'm going to repeat this forever and ever and ever. Empoli, imagine if Empoli's safety depends on that one game. If you're not concentrated, that has the potential of ending 4-0 to Empoli. That Empoli game is very delicate. And it's a game that we have to win. To get Champions League football, we need 10 to 12 points. Anything less than 10 points, done. You're not getting UCL. And 10 points is okay if Lazio and Atalanta lose some points. Otherwise, you need 12 points out of 12. Guaranteed. And tomorrow's the first test out of 4. From giving birth to May the 4th. That's also a rhyme. I live life knowing we have like 20 plus trophies and Leverkusen has 1, says Romanista. You know what's very interesting? I'm actually going to do a dedicated live stream. Maybe even, not tomorrow because I'm going to the stadium vlog hopefully. But next week, I'm going to do a very, very, very interesting live stream on what De Rossi said today in the press conference. Because what De Rossi said today in the press conference is, I have asked the Fredkins to study and to copy and kind of, emulate what Leverkusen did and the model that Leverkusen have built. And I think that is massive news. Because if you look at where Leverkusen started from, they started in a worse position than us, if you ask me. But again, we're going to discuss about that coming because it's very interesting what he said. You know, what De Rossi is showing us is that him and the owners speak a lot. And De Rossi has told the owners who have confirmed him for the long term, we need to build a model like Bayer Leverkusen. I have asked players in the transfer market, but let me tell you one thing. To copy the Bayer Leverkusen model, we need Champions League football. If we get Champions League football, you can copy that model as much as you want. If we don't have the finances to do so. But I'm going to speak about that later on this week because I think it's very interesting. It's freezing here in Edinburgh, says Saint. Lazio and Atalanta will not leave Orteo. Yeah, which is surprising because Atalanta are still in the Coppa Italia, Europa League and League. If we were in Atalanta's position, if we'd be in a Coppa Italia final and a Europa League semi-final like them, against a weaker side than us, Marseille, we'd be probably 10th in the league right now. We would have snubbed the league 2 months ago. Hats off to Xabi Alonso, most likely we'll enter Europa League, but man, if we win 1-0, I'd be happy for Roma to only be that team that beats Leverkusen. I was debating with someone on X who believes that Azmoun should start the remaining games ahead of Big Rom. I like Azmoun, but Lukaku's one of the best number 9s in the world. I feel Juventus more than Napoli, but maybe that's because I don't live in Rome. I also feel that. I have to be honest with you. Right. That's my predicted 11. Svilor in goal. Angelino, Ndika, Mancini, and Chilik. Now let me say this again. If you put Korsdorp on the pitch, Daniele, my dear Daniele, if you put that guy close to the pitch tomorrow, you're gonna get hated. So don't even think about starting. He won't start because if Korsdorp starts tomorrow, then De Rossi smoked something. Korsdorp's not gonna start. The other player which I don't want to start tomorrow is Smalling, because Smalling is unfit, and we've seen this last week, a few days ago. And Ndika and Mancho needs to start. And if Mancho, because I've been hearing rumors who said that Mancho has a muscle problem, that he's been sacrificing his leg to play these games. If Mancho can't play this game, then I don't want Smalling. I want Llorente to play this game. Ideally, I want Ndika and Mancini. If Mancho can't start, I want Ndika and Llorente. That's my back line. Pellegrini, Cristante and Paredes. Zalewski, Dybala and Lukaku up front. Dybala's going to start. De Rossi confirmed this. Lukaku's going to start. De Rossi confirmed this. Zalewski has been reported by Sky Sports. I see this happen because, of course, we can't be copying and pasting the starting 11 in every single lineup because the players are dead. Obviously, changing one little detail in and keeping the rest the same is fine. Zalewski to start, kind of a last chance, kind of a last call, maybe even one of the last games as a Roma player if he gets sold this summer. And people are saying Bove to start. I agree. I agree. And it's a mystery why Bove isn't getting many games. And you know what the problem is? When we don't start Bove with consistency, he worsens. And this is the problem with him. Not starting Bove means that he's weakening himself, because again, in these past games that Bove played, he wasn't amazing. He wasn't the same player as he was under Mourinho. So I would like Bove to start this game, and I think it would add intensity, but I don't think it will happen. Again, this is my predicted 11, not my favorite 11. I'm great, Henricas. How are you? What's going on with the sporting director? Do we have to start looking for players now before we will be stuck with loaning players again? Hello, Simo. If you can beat Juventus, we'll have momentum for the next game with Leverkusen. Mate, again, I believe, but it's not gonna happen. It won't happen. Leverkusen won't lose. Look, and I hate to break everyone's heart, but I think it's more likely for us to lose 2-0 than win 2-0 in the second leg. It is. We won't. I agree, I get your point. If we win this game, we're confident and all of that. But we've got Atalanta 2 days after Leverkusen. And we can't be wasting energies right now. So if Dybala and Lukaku, Pellegrini play all 90 minutes against Leverkusen on Thursday, I think it's wasted. Because I think the chances of us going through are 2% max. A bit more than 2%, but less than 10%. I think the chances of us going through is 7%. 7% we go through, 93% they go through. That's the way I'd break it. What's going to... Oh yeah, read that. I feel like all this talk is getting redundant. It's the same every week. I'm so scared, says Pathos. As much as Nicola is hated, I honestly believe in him. I would keep him as he's a Romanista. I'm also a Dinamo fan. I hate Red Star more than anything, says Ryo. I am nervous again, yes. What's your thought on Nikola Zalewski? I really don't know why he's been benched so many times. His skill is really not bad, I believe. Well, he's been benched multiple times because he's been shit lately. That's the truth. But yeah. People saying Baldanzi ahead of Zalewski. Might happen, yes. But starting with Zalewski means exploiting the wingers, and attacking wide more than attacking central. Because the problem with Baldanzi here is... The same problem is with Zalewski, because both of them are very tiny. Imagine Bremer and Danilo and Gatti, who are eight times the size of Baldanzi and Zalewski. Baldanzi, if you put Baldanzi in this game, the defense he's put against you is way too physical for him. It could happen. I'm just reporting what Sky Sports have said. How about to start Bobby for Pille to rest him? Yes, sure, but do we really need to rest players in this game? Or would it be rather to start Bove ahead of Pellegrini on Thursday against Leverkusen? I'm going to say this again, just to make it very, very clear. If we don't get 3 points tomorrow, we're not getting Champions League football. It's the fate that we've come against. It's the fate that shit start of the season has put us against. It is. It is. Because that terrible start of the season, and after that Verona game, in the match reaction of that Verona game, I said, remember, these points that we lost at the start of the season, count them at the end of the season and look at the difference it's going to make. We were so bad at the start of the season that this is the fate that we're against right now. If you don't get 3 points tomorrow, you're out of the Champions League race. You are. Unless Salernitana somehow beat Atalanta, but the last game Salernitana won, I mean, fucking Julius Caesar was around. So, and they are already relegated. So, Atalanta's going to win. This is the reality we need to face. It's very hard for us to get Champions League football. This is the way I see it. I hope I'm wrong, but I think to get UCL, we need a miracle. Because I think Atalanta are more prepared than us. They've got more energies than us. And Lazio, at time of speaking, have also got more energies than us. And if they win today, they're 1 point behind us. The sad thing is they still need to play Sassuolo and Empoli. We still need to play Atalanta, Juventus. We need to stay here. This is our rock. This is our rock. We're almost at the cliff. We're almost at the top of this mountain. We are. We're 4 meters away from reaching the top of the mountain. However, if you put your hand on a wobbly rock, you fall down. That's the life situation that we are living right now. We're very, very close. And look, at time of speaking, we would be in the Champions League. But we need to defend this in a very complicated calendar. So the way I see this is, we're very close to getting at the top. But it's the most difficult part because it's the steepest part. And if you put your hand or your feet on a wobbly rock, you fall down. And if you fall down, you die. And if we don't get Champions League football this year again, we die. Because our next 5 years are fucked. Especially if you want to build a model like Bayer Leverkusen, which is what De Rossi said this morning in the press conference. You need the funds. You need the money. You need that. And that is the reality right now. Close, but very, very risky. You could get it. We've got the same probability of getting on top safe as we are to slip down and die. It's a 50-50 situation. It depends on us. It depends on this. It depends on how fresh, rested, how concentrated the players are. It depends if we devote more than we should devote in terms of attention to a miracle that is a miracle and will remain a miracle on Thursday. Or are we going to be wise and spend more energies and attention on this game tomorrow, Atalanta's game? It's about crucial decision making. It's about crucial games and ultimately having to get 3 points in almost every game of the season. Sense Minasole Saudi. Simo, where is Red Star in your scale? For me, it's 2, says Ricardo. You mean in terms of teams I hate? Well, I guess I hate the fans, what they did. Most hated teams for me are Lazio, Feyenoord, Juventus, Napoli, and then I'd probably put Red Star, yeah. The thing with Red Star is that I see them as brutal. Like it's that classic situation that if I get put against a Red Star Belgrade fan, I'd rather die. because I've seen pictures and videos of Red Star Belgrade Ultras, and I was in fact in the Red Star Belgrade Stadium when I went to Budapest last year, and that team has a dedicated, you know, like how every team has an official shop where they sell jerseys and stuff. Next to it, outside their stadium, they have a shop dedicated to ultras, like where they sell knives and all of that. So it's one of those games where I think if you go there, I think it's banned, but if there ever would be a Red Star Belgrade Roma or a Roma Red Star Belgrade, you have to be careful, because if you put against them, you die. Like you don't want to mess. You do not want to mess up with those guys. So yeah, I see Red Star Belgrade as the villains, you know. Yeah, as the Captain Hook of the Peter Pan movie. We need new young ambitions, players like Baldanzi. If we qualify for Champions League next season, it's going to be so exciting. Imagine we get Chiesa and proper fullbacks and one more good midfield. I can dream, says Patos. Feel like Miles Villar is going to be a big star in the next season. Do you think he's going to be sold like Alisson? Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll learn from our mistakes. But again, if we don't get UCL, we will need to make money. And out of the players in our team right now, I think there are only three players that we would make a profit from. Bove, Ndika, and Svilor. So ultimately, if we don't get Champions League football, we'd be in a situation where one of these three players is going to leave this summer. They are. So I've repeated this since September, since August, since July, since we lost that Budapest final in May, 1 year ago. Nowadays, in football, it's a business. Football is a business. There's a football for teams who don't play in the Champions League, and a football if you play in the Champions League. If you don't play in the Champions League, you're irrelevant, you're useless, and you don't get the money. So, adding on to this, if we were to qualify Europa League again, with all of the new formats and stuff, and the fact that Champions League teams won't drop down to Europa League, that's gone. The Europa League would lose a lot of value. So, we just need to be in the Champions League. Again, fight, do whatever you want. I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there next weekend. I'll be there yesterday. I was there yesterday. I'll be here today. I'll be here tomorrow. But I'll be here supporting the team. But unfortunately, the reality of football nowadays is you're either in the Champions League or you're an irrelevant team. We need to be playing UCL football. We need to. Believe! 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 Right, enjoy your Saturday, my friends. I'm going to talk to you soon tomorrow. I'm heading to the stadium, so hopefully stadium vlog will come. Maybe I'll also film something tomorrow afternoon, maybe about this very interesting thing that De Rossi said this morning about I spoke to the Fredkins about copying a Bayer Leverkusen model, building a new project. I think it's very interesting. But yeah, 4 games to go. They need to be 4 finals. Forza Roma sempre. No matter what happens, we'll be here. But we need to fight. And imagine if we get UCL. We can party all the summer. Talk to you soon. May the 4th be with you. Simo out. Hit the like, by the way. And subscribe.